Good morning, everybody. That's better. The room's still a bit empty, but trust me, it's going to fill up because we've got some great stuff coming up. I've got 5 minutes to welcome you, give you some context, but I thought before I do that, I might ask you a few questions. Who here has been at IFGS for the first time? Raise your hands. Quite a few of you. Okay. Who here has been to a fintech event for the first time? Raise your hands. None. That's great. It takes away one of the jokes I was going to make, but hey, that's fine. Who's a founder? Who's a startupper? Awesome. Who comes from the industry, from the banking, financial services world? The rest? Technologists, consultants, policy people? Great. Good mix. That's the great thing about IFGS. It is actually amazing. It's the only event of its nature that brings people together from all these separate communities that need to work together, because the majority of other conferences are very much binary. They're usually about industry or about startups or a mix, but never the people who actually do all the other, maybe less sexy stuff, but the thing that's actually necessary for all of this to work. My name is Nektarios Liolios. The reason I'm here and the reason I'm asking this question is I've been around for a while. I founded the first global fintech competition, then I created the first global fintech accelerator, which in its heyday was the largest accelerator of its nature. And then I ran away from everything because I was just so tired from having the same conversations with the same people, and I thought, I'm done here. And then I was dragged out of my retirement in 2019 and was involved in the foundation of a very niche community bank, which was the first LGBT bank in the world that launched in the US. And now I'm a startup founder. At the tender age of 56, I'm actually an early stage startup founder, building my first tech business from scratch and hustling for my first pre-seed round. There you go. The reason I'm here is because I've seen a few things and I've been around talking to a lot of people from the different pockets of the industry. So hopefully, as we go through the day, I can add some color to some of the conversations and maybe do a bit of straight talking, because sometimes these events are a bit dry because you hear people talking about how great they are. And that's not what we're here for. We want to hear about the dirty stuff. We want to hear about the difficult things, because that's the things that we need to address. I hope you're with me on this. I need to do some housekeeping because that's part of my role as a host. So I'm going to read these things out, because part of getting older is that your memory leaves you for a bit. Logistics. You probably all know where the restrooms are. All this is easy. In an event of an emergency, I'm going to read this out loud. The fire alarm will not be audible. The Guildhall security and event staff will start to direct you to the nearest exit. Please follow their instructions. The evacuation will be managed by the Guildhall. If you have any concerns, please notify a member of the venue security who will be able to contact you, to contact the relevant person. Refreshments are in the Great Hall and the East Crypt. For those of you who've been yesterday, you know the drill. Please use the app. The app is important for two reasons. One of them is you get to meet people on the app that you might not know are here, so have a look at the attendees. It's a good networking tool, but it also gives you the full agenda. And please remember that the official closing party of FinTech Week is on Thursday, and it's hosted by Evelyn Parties, but you need to register for that, so please make sure you do that. So now that's out of the way. Let's take a moment, the last 1 minute and 40 seconds that I have, just to position what we're here for today. Yesterday was a day that was very much focusing on the results and the outcome and the ramifications of the last few years. The world has changed in ways that none of us was prepared for. We had the pandemic. We had multiple crises last year that affected our day-to-day. I had a meeting on a Thursday afternoon with somebody who was looking to help my company, my early stage business. And then he said, look, I really need to go because my boss has been calling me and it's really unusual. And then he disappeared. And I went home and I read about Silicon Valley Bank, and it all makes sense because the person I met was the head of partnerships and early stage engagement of Silicon Valley Bank. It's amazing to see how these things are so immediate and how they happen so suddenly and we're not prepared for. So some of the conversations we're going to be having today on this stage are about preparing for that. The second thing that we'll be talking about today, especially in the second part of the day, are the less obvious aspects of our industry. We're talking about RegTech, we're talking about pensions, we're talking about InsurTech. And for some people, this is still the new thing, but also want to make sure that we're all aligned on this is not new anymore. But at the same time, when we launched our first accelerator here in London, Startup Bootcamp FinTech, the person I hired in December 2013 to be my first employee thought FinTech means technology from Finland. Now we all talk about fintechs. It's not even 10 years ago, this thing didn't really exist. It wasn't a thing. People were talking about fintech startups, et cetera, et cetera. When we launched InsurTech, we were arguing if InsurTech should be spelled with an E in the middle or not. So, and now guess what? We're having multiple sessions with very respected persons from the insurance and InsurTech space. So I hope this is going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to the sessions. So it's now to me to announce the first one.